the prince of the air. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. And you Gentiles too were once dead in trespasses and sins, in which you at one time walked according to the age of this order of things, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit of falsehood that is now working in the sons of disobedience, among whom also we all at one time conducted ourselves in harmony with the desires of our flesh, doing the things willed by the flesh and the thoughts, and were by nature children of wrath, just as the others. Galatians chapter 1 and verse 4. Jesus, who gave himself for our sins, that he might deliver us from this present wicked age, according to the will of our God and Father. The spirit of disobedience which dwells in the world is personified, wherein in time past ye walked according to the age of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now works in the children of disobedience, among whom also we all at one time conducted ourselves in harmony with the desires of our flesh, doing the things willed by the flesh and of the mind. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 2 and 3. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. This he said, signifying what death he should die. John chapter 2, verses 31 to 33. To walk, being dead in trespass and sins, is to live according to the age of this world. So says the apostle in Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 to 2. The age of the world is according to the thinking of sinful flesh, in whatever way it may be manifested or expressed. If a man embrace one of the religions of the kingdom of men, he is still dead in trespass and sins, and walks according to the age of the world. In brief, anything short of faith in the gospel of the kingdom and obedience to the law of faith is walking according to the age of the world. To walk in sin is to walk in this age. Hence the apostle terms walking according to the age of the world, walking according to the prince of the power of the air, which he explains as the spirit now working in the children of disobedience. The power of the air, or aerial power, is the political power of the world, which is energized and infused by the spirit of disobedience, which is sin in the flesh, and styled above the prince of the power of the air. This is that prince of whom Jesus spoke, saying, Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. John chapter 12 and verse 31. That is judged. John chapter 16 and verse 11. The key to this is suggested in what follows. And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all unto me. This he said, signifying what death he should die. It should be noted that the words Satan and devil and demons do not occur here. Walking or living according to the prince of the power of the air is defined in verse 3 as living according to the lusts of our fleshly mind. The lusts of our flesh come from within us. See Mark chapter 7 and verses 21 to 23. James chapter 1 and verse 14. Not from anything outside of us. So the lusts of our flesh come from within us, not from anything outside of us. The power of the air is clearly a figurative expression. The prince probably also of sin in the flesh. The prince is the spirit that now works in the children of disobedience. The spirit figuratively refers to an attitude of mind. See Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 30, Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 28, and many other passages in the scriptures like 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 13, Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 23, Mark chapter 14 and verse 38, Luke chapter 2 and verse 40. This is confirmed by verse 3. Such people's lives are controlled by fulfilling the lusts of our flesh which come from our heart. James chapter 1 and verse 14. Fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind. Fleshly people do not allow their lives to be controlled by a physical prince outside of them, but by following their fleshly desires which are in their minds. A physical being cannot exist as a spirit in the sense of an intangible essence. A spirit does not have flesh and bones, i.e. a physical body. Therefore, because the prince is a spirit, this must be a figurative expression, not a physical being. The spirit or attitude of mind is a figurative prince, as sin is a figurative paymaster. This passage on verse 11 speaks of their former Gentile lives. Compare this with 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 3, which speaks of life before conversion as, in time past we followed the will of the Gentiles, we walked in lust. Their own flesh was their prince, thus walking according to the prince of the air. Verse 2 is parallel with walking in the flesh. Verse 11. The world is full of wickedness, because by nature we all have a fleshly mind or spirit. 1 John chapter 5 verse 19. The children of disobedience show this by their lives, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind. Thus the prince of the power of the air is our evil fleshly mind, the real devil, sin in the flesh.